Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Entertainment Now podcast. My name is Nick.
My name is Ian.
My name is Ian. I'm a little dainty female.
Hey.
What?
Don't genderize me.
You're just a soft bitch. That's all.
Just
I can say.
don't genderize me. How dare
Don't-
you?
how
Fuck
dare-
you? Fuck you.
How dare you assume my gender? That's so wrong. I shouldn't say that.
You're the one who started it. You're the one who started all the genderizing. That's all.
Oh,
I'm saying.
whatever. I will say that we typically have the videos up on our YouTube channel, but this week and next week we are recording in person, so I will have just the audio up on our YouTube channel. So it'll still be up there. You can check it out. Give us the old thumbs up and all the YouTube-y kind of stuff. If you're listening to us on your podcatcher, make sure you leave us a 5-star review. In that review, you can tell Ian to go to hell. It's okay. I completely understand.
I completely understand.
I mean,
It'd be fine with me. I don't care.
What's been going on, Ian?
What do I usually say when you ask me that?
Absolutely nothing.
There you go.
Absolutely nothing.
It's like a magic answer.
I know. I've asked you, we've been doing podcasting for what, almost 7 years now?
Yeah, it'll be 7 years in January.
Damn. And for almost 7 years, I've been asking you the same question, every single episode. So what's been going on, Ian? Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Well, I mean, there really isn't anything to say, but even if there was something going on, it's either going to be something good or something not good. So if there's nothing,
you do understand that, I'm not necessarily asking what's been going on, in your personal life. You can just talk about, anything. It's an opportunity to talk about anything you want.
what's been going on?
Has anything been going on lately? Because I've got something I'm going to talk about.
The world's burning.
The world is the world really burning, though?
Metaphorically, yes.
Metaphorically.
Yes. Parts of it are really legitimately burning. But metaphorically, let me rephrase that. The world itself is not burning. The human race is burning.
Well, is that necessarily a bad thing?
No, but
I will say that Thanos was right. I'm on Thanos' side.
I'm actually thinking Thanos was a little he didn't go far enough.
It's a half. He should have done a 2/3.
I don't know. I really legitimately think that the human race has had its chance.
Oh, geez.
I think we need to get out of the way and let another species evolve, and maybe they can do better.
The aliens. So speaking of aliens, this is not what I
wasn't speaking about aliens. You were.
I know. That's why I said speaking of aliens. It was me that
it was a
brought 'em up,
self-serving. It was a self-serving segue.
Yes.
Okay.
I wouldn't mind having a segue. Those are kind of fun to ride. Anyway, different kind of segue. I was reading something. I don't remember if it was reading something. This is not what I wanted to talk about, but just recently something came out. Actually, it might have been a Instagram reel or something. But there was this guy talking about how the human race is really an alien race, and how aliens came down. The same aliens that we've been seeing up in the sky for forever came down millions of years ago, and started the evolutionary process.
Mm-hmm. That's an old view.
Yeah,
they've been talking about that for decades.
But it's something.
My dad is actually a partial believer of that.
Is he really?
Yeah.
I don't see. That's kind of what I was gonna say though. Is I don't necessarily not believe it. I don't necessarily believe it either. I don't know. It's an interesting theory.
I think we have enough of an understanding of evolution to know that something would have evolved to this point, possibly, given the conditions on the planet. Anyway, so what I think that is just the idea that because we consider ourselves a paragon of animals, that it couldn't have happened as a natural occurrence.
Yeah,
there has to be some kind of intervention, whether it be divine or alien. People just can't wrap their brains around the fact that this just happened as a natural course.
And I think it's because it's I think most people accept the fact that natural evolution, it is possible for natural.
Obviously,
we're
here.
Hold on. For natural evolution to take place to get us where we are now. Mm-hmm. But I think it's also the probability of that happening is astronomical.
And you're dealing with
I know
astronomical reality.
Events, yes,
so it's
I know. So that's what I'm saying though is the thing is, so I understand that I've heard that also before, that like it was alien intervention that started evolution or human evolution. But the thing that the video was talking about was, and I'm not sure if the theory, the old theory that you were saying is the same thing, but that it was actually they came here to create a slave race.
Yeah, that's
all part of it.
That's super. Yeah,
it's interesting.
So any of you out there who might be like in your 40s or 50s or 60s for sure, but who had dealt with issues of insomnia at some point in your life, you would have come across, at least in the 90s, a radio program on 800 AM called Coast to Coast with Art Bell.
Oh yeah, I remember that show.
Okay. 1 a.m. to 4 p.m. or 1 a.m. to 4 a.m. every night. Or was it 5 a.m.? It might have been 5. I think it was a 4-hour show. Every night, it was 7 days a week, and he would talk about this shit. And he had people on all the time who talked about the seeding of Earth by alien races. And sometimes it was about just an experiment. Sometimes it was about slave races. Sometimes it was about warring alien races coming down and creating different types of people. That's why there's differences in our looks and everything.
Yeah.
You know, it just doesn't make any sense.
I'm gonna see if I can find that video real quick. Let me give me 1 second here. I think this is it here. Oh, hold on, I gotta figure out how to rewind that stupid thing. Hold on, I gotta do an old person technology thing here.
You're old. You're an old man.
Hold on, let me see if I can restart it.
What if the Mayans never disappeared?
It's kind of long, but hold on.
The ancient civilization of the Maya is one of the most fascinating and mysterious civilizations in history. Their remarkable and sophisticated culture, known for their awe-inspiring architectural wonders, built with machine-like accuracy in a time where spears and arrows were used to hunt, such as towering pyramids, sprawling cities, and intricate temples.
Got a nice voice.
They also developed one of the most complex writing systems of any ancient civilization, which allowed them to record their history, religious beliefs, and astronomical observations with great precision. They also made significant advances in mathematics and astronomy, creating calendars.
Mad that there is only literally like 6 codex books remaining out of the hundreds that would have been available to us had the...
So it's a long video, but that's where she was like, that's where kind of started me down that path.
What were the Mayans, the aliens, or were they just...
No, so that's what she was saying though, is like you have like these ancient civilizations who are like all over the world, are all like building like identical temples and pyramids and things like that. And there's got to be some way that, because obviously there was nothing, hundreds of thousands of years ago that tied all these civilizations together. So the theory is, or what they were discussing in the video, because it's one of those Stitch videos where, and it kind of goes on. She talks about other stuff also, but that basically what she was talking about is an alien race came down and individually like helped all these different civilizations around the world, and that's why like you've got pyramids on every single continent. And it's
we though?
There are pyramids everywhere, all over the world.
In North America?
Well, Mexico.
That's South America.
That's Central America.
Well,
actually, I'm sorry. Mexico is North America.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
But not in like Canada or the U.S. There's no pyramids there. There's no pyramids in the UK or Southern Europe.
But there are there's
no pyramids in Russia. So not all over the world. There's pyramids in
you're correct. They're not in every single country, but there are pyramids. You can go online. There's a map of all the pyramids across the world, and there's
so what you're saying is how could these civilizations who are thousands and thousands of miles apart create similar structures, and then not take into account that geometry is universal.
Yeah.
And these are geometric shapes.
Yes. And these are like very primitive people also they're using very the pyramids in Egypt are like precisionly, there's such precision made in those in all of them really, across the world.
There was a Spanish mathematician, I think he was a monk too. He determined the circumference of the planet with just a stick, and he was exact on his numbers.
Yeah.
it's really not. Yes, it's remarkable. It's astonishing. It's awe-inspiring. But you don't need aliens or divine intervention for that.
I mean, you look at something like the Anti-Chi theorem, which is something that was like, even today we still don't understand it fully. And that was, how many thousands of years ago was that?
Right.
And that was able to accurately predict all these different astronomical events and years in advance.
Mm-hmm. Humans have a very strong capability for finding patterns and things.
Yeah.
Especially things that repeat, like astronomical phenomena. I mean, we see the same thing every night based on our position.
But the Anti-Chi theorem was able to predict things that hadn't happened in
I'm not familiar
here.
with that theorem, so I don't know.
So you've seen the Dial of Destiny, right? We saw it together.
Is that what that was talking about?
Yes, the whole movie was about the Anti-Chi theorem. There was an actual device that was found at the bottom of the ocean, and they've never found anything like that before, ever since.
It was not found at the bottom of the ocean. I believe Indiana Jones got it from a Nazi.
The real one.
Oh, well.
Because it is a real thing.
But maybe we have two different definitions of real, Nick. I don't know what to tell you.
So yeah, it was interesting. That watching that video really kind of set me. And I don't typically go off down those weird rabbit holes, but it definitely sent me.
Is it? I mean, in the realm of possibility, anything's possible. I mean, I'd be willing to explore that.
I guess first off, you'd have to believe that aliens exist,
right? Which I do, but I don't believe they're visiting us. At least not like that.
Yeah.
I just any race that has the ability to travel is either going to come here to do one of three things. One, they're going to observe us to get a better understanding of their own evolution and their own history, as we would do if we were in that position.
Yeah.
They're going to come here. That's possibility one. Possibility two, they're going to come here, see how primitive we are, and they're going to enslave us.
Yeah.
Because we can be enslaved by them because they have all that technology. Or three, they're going to come here and just wipe us out because we're like ants to them.
Yeah. So.
And none of those possibilities, or two of those possibilities, haven't happened yet. The other one is the most likely. So there's no intervention. I just don't see the intervention side of it.
I don't remember the guy's position. I believe he was British. But there is somebody from a former military, I don't know if he was a military person or somebody from the government. I believe it was from the UK, who came out not that long ago and said that I think it was since the alien hearings here in the U.S.
If you can call them that.
Well, whatever.
Yeah.
Came out and said that the UK has evidence that aliens have come to Earth, and that they have not been friendly. Also,
Well, they've done a good job of hiding their unfriendliness. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Well,
unless we're talking lizard aliens that are in control of everything, Illuminati style.
Yeah.
But that's,
at
some point.
So the way I look at it is, I think it's more likely that any race of aliens that would be coming here would not be friendly.
Well, because we only have human history as an example, and every technologically advanced group that has gone from one place to another has not been friendly.
Yeah.
So using that as an example, you're right. But I think
mean like when Christopher Columbus, quote unquote, discovered the New World? Yeah.
Yeah.
And just brought all of his disease.
Right. Which, to be fair, he would have done anyway because there was probably a difference in genome of bacteria.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah,
but
absolutely.
He did it. He kind of did it on purpose too.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think there'd be more evidence of an unfriendly alien race. Why would they care? Why would they care to hide if they're unfriendly?
Yeah.
It wouldn't make any sense. And if they're controlling us, I kind of think they're doing a shitty job. If their end result is for us to destroy ourselves, I guess that's probably good.
Yeah, that plan is in motion.
But what's the point of that? Why not just wipe us out themselves?
Yeah.
They have the technology. There's no way they don't if they were able to get here in the first place.
Yeah. I guess I don't know, maybe they are waiting till we reach a certain evolutionary step that that would be useful to them. Maybe I don't know.
I know, but if we get too far, I mean, then we become more of a. I mean, the farther we go, the more likely we can at least put up somewhat of fight. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, all we need is Will Smith in a fighter jet, right?
Or
and Bill Pullman as president. Is that who it was?
I was going to say, or Jeff Goldblum as the guy who uses Windows 95 to create a virus to wipe out the entire alien fleet. But hey, as someone who actually likes those movies a lot, including the second one, which I don't know why people shit on that so badly.
The second one wasn't bad.
It was decent. I thought.
I mean, I think the first one was a lot better.
Right,
but.
For a sequel that came out almost 20 years after the fact.
Yeah.
I say it was a pretty damn good film, and it set up a third film very well, and because no one wanted to see it. And people, I mean, some of the complaints in that movie were just terrible.
Well, people find the stupidest shit to shit on a movie with.
And it's funny because they shit on the movies that are decent, and they praise the movies that are garbage.
Yeah.
It makes me sick sometimes. That's how the aliens are going to get us. By convincing us to like shitty things and hate good things.
So, speaking of, I guess your opinion of good things might differ than everyone else's, but there was some big news in the movie realm that just happened within the last couple of days, and that is so Taylor Swift is doing a video or a movie for her.
I saw it.
Eras
tour. I saw about it.
So I guess it broke the record set by Avengers Endgame for most tickets ever sold in a 24-hour period. For through AMC. Yeah,
I you know what? I'm really starting. I think I might have found God, because I really truly believe that only someone who sold their soul to the devil could really be accomplishing what she's accomplishing with her not bad but relatively mediocre music.
Well, I mean, that's your opinion. There's a lot of people. It is my opinion. There's a lot of people that absolutely love her. I would love to see more artists do this, though.
No, I agree. Well, they used to. I mean, they used to make it a big theatrical thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Metallica did it with
S&M.
With 70. Didn't they do the same? The theater shows for 72
I don't think it was
seasons
the same,
also.
But it wasn't a live concert, was it? I'm talking about they used to do live concerts in theaters that. A film it Song Remains the Same by Led Zeppelin. That was a big theatrical release, or at least a minimal or medium-sized theatrical release.
But I would love to see more artists do. I think that's a great, especially even though the tickets are I think tickets are like $20.
Yeah, well, they're $20 for adults, and they're cheaper if you're a kid or a senior.
So I would much rather. I mean, obviously, you're going to see a movie and not a live performance, but
I still think $20 is too much for a fucking movie ticket. But
but compared to $400 to $600 for a concert ticket. I mean,
well, you shouldn't be paying that much for a fucking concert ticket either.
I have.
I know you have, and it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And don't get me wrong. I've spent $150 at the high end. That's the most I've ever spent for a concert ticket. But I've spent as low as $12 for a fucking concert ticket. It just it makes no sense.
The most I've ever spent for concert tickets were for when we saw Blink-182 this year, and I would 100% do it again, and I will do it again.
Yeah, well, again, how much money you have constitutes how much money you're willing to spend.
Very true. They're very true. Very true. When you have more disposable income.
So I guess the Eras tour in theaters for $20 is better if you're, from a low-income family who happens to like Taylor Swift.
There you go.
Because you couldn't see them live like all the rich people.
There were reasonably priced tickets to her show.
Yeah, they probably $10, and she could sit outside the stadium and listen.
Whatever. You had to sit up high in the stadium.
You were up high and you paid $600 fucking dollars.
I did not. I sat right next to the fucking stage, Ian.
You were behind the stage. You told me they were shitty seats.
We were side stage.
Up high.
No, first row, side stage.
That is not what you told me.
Yeah, we were literally. We were.
I swear to Christ, you said they were terrible seats. You were behind the stage.
No.
Up.
I said they were selling seats. You could sit behind the stage, high up in the top of the bowl. Absolutely, those tickets are even cheaper. Those tickets are probably $50. But yeah, no, I had really good seats when we saw her. I mean, they could have been better because we were side stage, but still.
I swore you said they were shitty seats.
No. I said you could have bought shitty seats is what I said. Because I was even surprised, the poor people that were sitting in the nosebleed section behind the stage, for the money you spent for those tickets, you could have just stayed at home and listened to it because
right.
You couldn't see. I mean,
well, now you can.
You're
for 20 extra bucks.
Yeah, you're literally just watching it on a screen because that's all you.
No, I think it's a good idea as far as like, I think artists could do that. The problem is that music is much more niche, so, an artist like Taylor Swift or Metallica, it would be justifiable to do a theatrical release because you're going to sell tickets for it.
Yeah.
But there's, no one's going to pay to go to the movie theater to see MXPX, at least not enough to justify putting it in theaters.
Well, MXPX does something different. They actually do it for free on their website.
Right, but I'm saying these grand you're talking every artist has done the YouTube thing. I'm talking about these grand theatrical.
And what I'm talking about is bigger bands, obviously.
Right. So, I mean, it's only justifiable for like the big bands. It's not something that I think could take off for the music industry in general.
But the thing I like about it is, because we've talked about it multiple times on the podcast here, that movie theaters are dying, and they have been dying for the last several years. They were dying before the pandemic, but I think the pandemic really
streaming is what's killing them, though.
But this is a great way to get more people into movie theaters.
I don't
is
see
it not? How is it not? How is this any different than a movie?
Well, it's not. No, it is. It is, and it's going to get people in, but then it's going to be gone. And then what do you replace that with? Do you just have Taylor Swift do one every year to boost theater sales?
Or I'm talking about.
There's only a handful of bands I think could pull this off.
You don't think so? I think I could probably name 10 bands off the top of my head.
And I guarantee you, none of them are ones I would go see.
But they're huge bands. Yeah. I guarantee if Drake did one, he'd pull in big amounts of people. Kanye West would pull in a shitload of people. Yeah. There's probably a half a dozen country artists that probably pull in a lot of people.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's a bad idea. I'm just saying that's not what's going to save the theaters.
I'm not saying it by itself is going to save theaters. No. It definitely add a big bonus or a big boost to movie sales and concession sales, especially since right now, like, we're going to a period with the strike going. Right. That, I mean, who knows what the fate of theaters are at this
theaters
point.
had a shit deal from the get-go. They had the benefit, up until the late 1970s to the 1980s, where they were pretty much exclusive. TV didn't even get anything until theaters were done with it.
Yeah.
So they were able to make money well at the rates that the studios were paying them.
Yeah.
Because that's what it ultimately boils down to. It's how much the studio allows the theaters to keep from their ticket sales. And as you see with when VHS and home video was starting to come out, it started to hurt the theaters, and that's when the concessions started going up in price. Because that's how they were. That was how they were. That's how
they offset the cost.
So right, and that kind of continued on until you start hitting the streaming thing. Because theaters were fine. They were struggling, but they were making it.
Yeah.
Once streaming hit, now you got brand new movies that would normally be released theatrically being dropped on streaming services. Mm-hmm. Theaters couldn't compete with that. Because they can only charge so much for their fucking popcorn.
Yeah.
And now to get people in, they're selling their popcorn even cheaper, or with coupons and stuff, deals. So,
but I mean, like, her concert will probably. I mean, it'll probably pull in $1 billion fucking dollars. I mean, it's, and that's what I'm saying though, is if she's able to do that, and a dozen or two other artists do that, and obviously not all at one fucking time, but spread out over a couple of years, man, that'd be a big boost.
And movie theaters will get like 1% of that at best.
That's fine. That's a lot more than what they were getting if they weren't doing it.
True, but I don't know. I don't think anything can save the theaters other than the people just going and seeing other fucking movies.
Yeah. And here's the other thing.
People are going to the theaters. I mean, fucking movies are still making what Barbie made $1 billion.
I know.
So people are going to the theater.
I know. So, but the other thing is, there's still a lot of people out there that might be kind of hesitant to go to a movie theater. Yeah. And maybe something like this, brings them, is enticing enough to bring them to the movie theater.
So what do you think they're still afraid of?
Just being around a shitload of people, or they just don't want to be around a shitload of people.
But Taylor Swift will fix that?
I'm sure that, or I'm not saying just her, but things like this could entice people that are less willing to go out to the movie theater to actually start going back to the movie theater more regularly.
Because this is what I see. I see most likely anyone who went to her concerts is going to do this, going to see it in the theater, and there's not going to be a lot of extra beyond that, which is still a lot. That's still a ton of money. But every fucking Taylor Swift fan went and saw her in concert. That's how her concerts sold so high.
Not everyone went and saw her concert.
No, I didn't. Most people who don't like her didn't go see her.
I would probably say a majority of her fans didn't go to see her.
Well, that's because she priced herself out of that market, and then only celebrities could fucking go.
She didn't price herself out because the concert sold out in a matter of fucking minutes.
Yeah,
so you can't say she priced herself out. She probably could have charged even fucking more and made more money off of it.
All I see, this is just the socialist in me. All I see is people who have money spending $1,000 fucking a ticket to see a 30-year-old girl who's talented, but her music is not that great.
It is that good.
It is fucking bland. It is white. It's white girl music.
No, it's
yes,
not.
It is. It's so fun. It is the epitome of vanilla.
That is your opinion. And I would say that's probably a minority's opinion.
I don't give a shit. It's true. It's fucking boring. It's what I would listen to if I'm really struggling to fall asleep.
And Ian, there's probably a lot of people out there that find a lot of your music very boring.
And that's fair. That's completely fair. I'm just saying, no one's paying $1,000 a ticket to listen to my music.
But there is for hers.
That doesn't mean it's good.
Because there are enough people out there that want to see it.
I think there's enough people out there who the devil's controlling because she sold her fucking soul to the devil.
Whatever.
I'm sorry.
Going back to my original point on all this, I would love to see more bands do this.
Yeah. Let me finish my statement just so everyone is clear what I meant by socialist in me. You got people spending $1,000 on tickets, and there's fucking starving children in this country.
Oh my God, Ian! You can fucking say that for anything.
Yeah, you can.
How dare you spend $200,000 or $300,000 on a house
concert
when there's people out there that don't have houses? That's the most ridiculous.
Well, the
argument.
housing market's fucking inflated anyway.
But that's the most.
People are paying.
That's the most ridiculous argument.
Is it a wrong argument?
Because you can literally make that argument for anything.
You could.
And how dare you spend $25,000 on a brand new car? You should have bought a car for a third of that price and then donate it to other people that don't have cars. That's why I said it's an asinine argument.
Yeah. Well, $25,000 for a car is actually pretty cheap.
I know.
That's what used cars are going for
nowadays.
And actually,
that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that argument. It's a straw man argument.
It is. You're not wrong, and it is easily broken apart. But it's just so ridiculous what people that spending $1,000 for a 3-hour show.
Yeah.
That's such a third or first world fucking thing, and it's so irritating. I wouldn't spend that money on my favorite artist if I got to meet them.
There's a lot of people out there that would. And now, granted, I will say that her tickets were not $1,000 a piece.
No, I know people specifically who spent $1,000 on tickets.
If you wanted to buy them third party, they were sure.
Doesn't matter. I don't care I don't care who was getting that $1,000. You do not spend $1,000 for a fucking concert.
If you have that kind of disposable income and you want to spend it that way, so be it. I don't care.
I can't tell you how to spend your fucking money. It's still obscene.
I mean, you are, but like
no, I'm not. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. I think it's obscene. I'm not telling you can't do it. It's still fucking obscene.
Whatever. It's it's whatever people want to do with their money. I don't really care.
I don't care. I care when it comes to that, but it's just. Me caring doesn't change anything. Is my point. I can care and I can be angry about it.
I just think it's odd that you don't see this as a huge boom to theaters
because it's fleeting.
Everything's fleeting, though.
It doesn't have to be.
Any movie, fucking Endgame was fleeting. I mean, every movie that's ever been released is fleeting.
Now, if Marvel had spent all the money they spent on their streaming shows. Would they have 6 streaming shows?
Something like that.
Out officially now? If Disney and Marvel had spent that money and made 3 decent movies to put in the theaters, that would have helped the fucking movie theaters. Not one concert show movie.
But I'm not saying one concert show.
Not any, because they're not going to do it. There's not enough draw. You're right. The Drakes of the world, the Kanyes of the world can do it. But they're not going to, because they're not going to make enough money. I guarantee.
I think she won't be the only one that does this.
No,
there will be
won't.
more that do it.
She won't.
And I don't even know I don't know how wide the release of this is either. I didn't see how many theaters it was going to be in, but
if it's sold out that fast, it'll show up in every fucking theater. Guaranteed. You'll see it in every theater.
AMC for sure, but I don't know how,
unless it's an exclusive deal. If it's an AMC exclusive
that I don't know either. I don't know.
Then yeah, it'd only be AMC. And then AMC theaters would be fine.
Yeah.
But honestly,
because the other thing you have to remember is not only are people just buying tickets, because you're right, the theaters don't make a lot of money off of ticket prices.
They don't even get anything from the ticket sales until the movie's been out for a month.
Yeah.
So basically, by the time everyone's seen it, is when they start getting a cut, and that's only 25%.
Yeah.
At for the fifth week, and then they get 50% on the fifth or sixth week.
But where they are going to make money is off of everything else,
concessions,
because they rate people over.
Of course,
prices,
well they have to. I mean,
you
can't argue with the fact that they have to.
Yeah.
It sucks, and don't get me wrong, but I always support it because I understand it. I get a popcorn, I get my pop, whatever. So I support it.
But that's kind of where I was going with all this was if you had 2 or 3 of these a year, I think that'd be kind of cool. I think it'd be
it would be cool. I just don't think it'd be enough to save the theaters. I just don't in general.
But like I said, it's not something. I'm not saying this is the end all be all solution. I'm just saying it's part of it, especially now that we're talking about who knows what the future of movies looks like with the strike. I
mean, the strike's going to end. It's just when we say the future of movies, it's the near future of movies. Everything's going to pretty much go back to the way it was.
Yeah,
it'll just take a year after the strikes end for it to all catch up.
That's what I'm talking about, and that's where I was going. Is as a bridge to get us, because once the strike is settled, there's going to be a long period.
There is. A lot of studios are starting to back up some of their tentpole movies, though.
Yeah.
So Dune's already been moved to next year. There was a couple others that I know of, but I know Dune for sure. That's a big movie that's coming, and that's.
I'm kind of surprised that Disney hasn't moved back to Marvels.
I thought they were talking about it. I thought I read something that they were talking about.
I think they moved it back by a month or something like that, but
maybe.
It's still scheduled for later this year.
Oh, as a result of the Taylor Swift thing, they actually moved up the date for Exorcist Believer.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was the 13th. It was the same day, and then they moved it up a week or a couple days or something like that.
That's because of Mission Impossible.
Yeah, they got
Mission Impossible was released the same week as the Barbie movie,
right? And it hurt, yeah.
And what was the
Oppenheimer.
other one? Oppenheimer, yeah.
So, I mean, but they're two different audiences too. So it's I don't think you would have that. Although, I mean, the argument could be made that it's the same thing with Barbie and Mission Impossible, two different audiences. But I don't think they anticipated the crossover audience that they got with the Barbie movie.
Yeah, which there was a lot of it.
There was a lot. As far as Exorcist, if they're smart, I don't know what the budget is on it, but if they follow their Halloween pattern, the movie's going to be a success no matter what. I mean, no one can go see it and it'll still make enough money to be profitable. So I'm not too worried about that. I don't really know why they matter, because the Halloween 2018 had a $10 million budget. That's it, $10 million. That's fucking practically an independent film by today's standards.
Yeah. When you've got movies with $100 million budgets and things like that.
Yeah, and that's just starting point. $10 million and so you figure with advertising it was probably $20 million, but it made $200 million.
Yeah.
Exorcist Believer, it won't make $200 million, but if it has a budget of say 15 or 20 million, and then you add in another 5 to 10 million for advertising, and it makes 70 million or 100 million, it's a huge success.
Yeah.
So that's the pattern that studios should be going with, so they can increase their profits. And that might help because then they can take those profits and make other movies that are reasonably priced and decent and put them in the fucking theater.
Decent is the key word there.
Right.
I will say that there's probably more of an overlap with the Taylor Swift movie than you think.
With The Exorcist?
Yeah. Fan-wise, you have to remember you're talking about...
It's the devil side of it, isn't
it? One of the most popular musicians in music history.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm sure there's a fair share of overlap.
When we're off radio, not tonight, but one of these times I'm over here, I want you to play what you think is her most exciting song that is something that might move me, to prove me wrong about my point about her being fucking bland.
It's just because it's not. It's
like
not
she's rice cake.
Because it's not your kind of music. That's why.
It doesn't matter. There's a lot of music that's not my kind of music that I like. It's about how inciting it is.
I don't know about that, Ian.
I'm not going to have this argument with you on the radio. So.
But I don't know. I'm surprised that she sold as many tickets as she did already. But I didn't see the exact number from AMC. But if you're breaking Endgame records, that's got to be pretty damn good. That's a lot of fucking tickets.
Yeah, it is. Or well, we're talking about pre-sales though. We're not talking about actual ticket sales.
That's true. We're
talking pre-sales.
And it's not just pre-sales. It's pre-sold tickets in a 24-hour period.
Right. So I mean, yes. I'm
trying to think. I know Metallica. It wasn't S&M. I thought they did something else. They did. They did something for 72 seasons.
Yeah, but I think it was just like a couple theaters. It wasn't like a wide release.
I thought it was pretty widespread.
No, I don't think so. I think it was limited.
Okay.
But they did do something theatrically. I don't know what it was, but they did something.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, you said Song Remains the Same. There's been a couple other ones though. But I can't.
Well, Woodstock was theatrically released.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of the same thing.
I mean,
it's still a concert video. So.
And that was a couple years after.
So whenever the original album came out.
Yeah. The funny thing is about that whole Woodstock thing is, man, that Woodstock film is something there where it's like almost like revisionist history because it tried its best to paint like this happy, fuzzy image
for a lot of people it was.
of Woodstock. But there was, Woodstock was not great for a lot of people also. I mean, it
wasn't. It wasn't Woodstock 99.
Yeah, that's true. With all the sexual assaults and everything that happened in 99, it's pretty hard to beat that one. But there was did you ever see that documentary about the 99 Woodstock?
No, I haven't seen it.
Oh my God, man. It was like, I remember I don't remember watching any of it live. Like I remember when Woodstock 94 happened, I watched it, part of it on pay-per-view because I saw the Green Day performance. But with like the 99, there was like, I don't remember who was on stage. I don't remember if it was like Limp Bizkit or somebody, but they were like trying to control like the fire that was raging in the middle of the crowd, and like the band that was on stage like egged the whole thing on, and like that's when people like started knocking things over.
Well, that's
and
what you get when you bring
and,
Limp Bizkit anywhere.
I don't remember if it was Limp Bizkit or if it was like, it could have been Red Hot Chili Peppers. It was somebody that was up on stage. I don't remember who it was, but they like egged like the crowd on and got them to like destroy more shit. It was just a bad thing overall. It was like, I feel like it was like the end. I don't know. I guess that's kind of when like the ugliness really kind of started showing through in society, was like that late 90s period.
Yeah, or early 2000s for sure. I still have my rose-colored glasses on for most of the 90s.
Yeah.
So,
but I think that was when like I mean, because I wasn't expecting that. I was what, 20. I wasn't expecting anything like that to fucking happen there. But I mean, like, I don't think anything like really bad happened in 94.
No, 94 was actually probably better than 68 or 69.
69. I mean, it might have been. I mean, I think the lineup was better in 94, but
well, I mean
that's opinion, but
would I rather see Green Day than Country Joe McDonald? Yeah.
Hey, man.
Absolutely. Even though I'd rather see Green Day than Bob Dylan too.
Yeah, there wasn't I was trying to remember. There was like, I think the Doors were supposed to do Woodstock, and then something fell through. Yeah. There was like a bunch of people that like had been invited, but for one reason or another, I don't know if it was just they weren't getting paid or.
Well, I know with Tull it was scheduling.
Yeah.
So, because they were in California when Woodstock was going on.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I don't know. We were kind of long, so
yeah.
I was going to start getting into our topic. Maybe we'll save our topic for. I guess we just kind of go through some of these real quick. They're so beginning of the month we talk about new releases. We haven't done it. This is the first time since season 2 started that we've done this.
We'll make it real quick.
We skipped the
stuff comes out.
We got like 10 or 15 minutes, so we can kind of talk about some of it. There's some really good. We talk about the movies and new releases that are coming out for the month. So this is all stuff that's coming out over the month of September. I mean, I think September. There seems to be there's a bunch of horror stuff coming out over.
Well, it's setting up for October.
That's what I was getting at. It was a lot of stuff kind of leading up to Halloween.
The Nun is coming out. The Nun 2.
The Nun 2, yeah. There was a lawsuit.
I didn't like the first Nun movie.
There was I believe the lady that plays the nun, or played the nun in the first movie. She's
in the second one.
She's in the second one also. I guess there was some kind of lawsuit between her and the people that made the movie over her likeness that they were using.
I thought I heard something, but not that. Because, I mean, this is our third or fourth movie with this group making.
I'd have to. I saw it just like quickly in passing over the last couple of days, and I meant to actually look into it. But it was something that had to do something to do with her likeness. That
let's see. I'll do a quick Google search.
The Nun 2 comes out September 8th. There's also September 8th is My Big Fat Greek Wedding 3, which I didn't even know that they had done a third one.
I didn't even know there was a fucking
second one.
No, I knew there was a second. There was a TV series too.
Yeah, there was.
I didn't know there was any story to have a part 3, but okay, I guess there is. Let me guess. It's their kid getting married.
I would assume so. Probably something like that.
Father of the Bride Part 10. Great granddad walking a kid down the aisle.
Father of the Bride. I like the first movie. I thought the first movie was okay. You've also got A Haunting in Venice coming out September 15th.
Oh, so just to clarify that, Nun. Yeah, she is suing, but they haven't paid her fairly for merchandise with her likeness.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah. It was with using her likeness, but and then Haunting in Venice. What'd you say we were?
It's a Hercule Poirot story. Agatha Christie, for those of you out there who might not know who that is.
Yeah,
created the character Hercule Poirot. Kenneth Branagh. This is his third movie playing the character and directing. I believe he directed the other two.
What were the other two?
Murder in the Orient Express was the first one.
Oh, maybe I think I did see that.
Death on the Nile, which just came out last year, by the way. I didn't even know he was doing a third one.
Yeah.
And this one's coming out now. I haven't even seen Death on the Nile yet, but I'm super excited. Murder on the Orient Express was really well done.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I saw
That's been out for like
a couple
4
years,
years, maybe 3-4 years. And that was just super well done. It's like probably the 5th version of that story I've seen, so at least third. And I would put it just equal with the best of them. If they're, I wouldn't know how I'd quantify which one was better, but they're or qualify which one was better. But yeah, it was very well done. I plan on seeing Death on the Nile, so I probably won't catch this in the theater. But who knows? Maybe I will. I wouldn't mind seeing it. So.
And then you get the Expendables 4 coming out September 22nd.
Which I've never seen the other ones.
I'm pretty sure I saw the first one. But I did not see, I didn't see the second or third one. It's one of those ensemble action movie kind of things.
I mean, I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with them. I just, and maybe now, having gone and basically binged watched the 4 John Wick movies, which are over-the-top action.
Yeah.
Very well done. I'm probably more in a mindset to maybe go back and revisit those, but I'm not going to go to the theater.
It's something I won't see in the theater. There's a new Spy Kids movie coming out too, which I didn't even know they were still making those. But apparently this is Robert Rodriguez rebooting the original Spy Kids franchise. So,
okay.
I mean, at least you got somebody that knows what they're doing a movie.
Well, I mean, he did the originals, so
yeah. So. That comes out September 22nd.
Robert Rodriguez also did Book of Boba Fett, so which isn't bad. It's just not great.
No, I don't think I saw it.
It's not great.
Maybe I did see it. I don't remember.
I think
I've seen so many fucking
honestly
things.
more. I think it's not his fault. I think he was just, they were expecting him to do something with so little. But,
yeah. No, I mean Robert Rodriguez is
he's an excellent director.
Yeah, he's a fantastic director. So. I'm trying to see if there's anything else really of note. It Lives Inside is another horror film that's coming out.
There's something at the end of the month I was curious about. I accidentally closed out my list.
Oh, did you? Yeah. Big surprise there, Ian. You get Sam Jackson, Uma Thurman in The Kill Room coming out. That comes out September 28th. The Creator. We were talking about The Creator earlier.
Yeah, I'm curious about that one. It's that's Gareth Edwards, I believe. He did Rogue One, which is really good.
So it's about, I'm guessing it's about autonomous AI.
It's sci-fi. It's a sci-fi action film. I don't really know what it's about. I didn't look it up.
It says the creator is hitting the cinema screens at a perfect time when a huge debate about autonomous AI is raging in the world. Gareth Edwards, known for directing Rogue One, has directed the sci-fi action thriller film with a well-known cast of John David Washington. I don't know, and Sturgill Simpson's in it too. Apparently,
it looks really good. I mean, it's very,
For any people out there that know who Sturgill Simpson is,
yeah, it looks good. I'm actually more excited about Rebel Moon from Zack Snyder, but that's going straight to streaming, so it kind of goes against what I was arguing earlier. But
there's another Saw movie coming out.
Yeah, that's what I was going to bring up. Saw X.
So it's not Saw 10?
It's technically Saw 11. Really?
Is it?
Because you had the 1 through 8, then you had Jigsaw. I'm adding. Okay, 1 through 7, then Jigsaw was 8, and then Spiral was 9. So this is 10. Yeah, so that makes sense. But still.
So this is set between Saw and Saw 2.
Which, is fine if there's story to tell there. But the problem I have with that is, how do you have an actor who's now 20 years older, actors, because there's multiple actors coming back, who are 20 years older than they're supposed to be in this movie? It doesn't work. It's kind of the same problem you had when they did Red Dragon, 11 years after Silence of the Lambs, but it takes place before Silence of the Lambs. You've got an Anthony Hopkins who's 11 years older and looks it. It doesn't work. It just,
But doesn't Tobin Bell die
in the third movie?
He doesn't. I don't know why.
Spoiler alert for a 15-year-old movie.
Yeah, exactly. So this new movie takes place between 1 and 2, and he goes to Mexico to try to find a cure for his cancer.
Yeah,
it's kind of like the plot line for the movie.
Right. So, I mean, it's a good way to bring characters back without being supernatural, because that's the only other fucking way you get Tobin Bell back.
Yeah.
Although they did a pretty good job of showing it as backstory in this 4 through 7.
Yeah.
But when it's all said and done, I to be honest though, I haven't seen Jigsaw or Spiral yet. So
no.
I stopped with 7. I figured it's called the final chapter. Maybe we should leave it there. That being said, maybe I should go back. Spiral got really mixed reviews. So
I was never a big fan of the Saw movies anyway, but
I guess it depends on how you watch them.
I mean, I don't know. I like the first one
because it was original.
Yeah, but I don't know. After the second or third one, they just seemed like it was just gore for gore's sake.
It kind of became that, and I don't think it was intentionally just selling the gore, because they had some story. They had a story there. They were telling a story. But their goal was to up the ante on all of the traps every movie, so it does become more. But the same thing happened with slashers. It became less about the characters and more about how the characters got killed.
Yes,
which is fine. As a horror
you mean
film,
dunking someone's head in liquid
nitrogen,
and shattering their face?
Yeah. Which is fantastic. As unrealistic as it is, that scene is still iconic. Yeah. And it's from a movie that no one fucking likes.
Other than me. I'm the only person on this earth that likes Jason 10.
X.
Jason 10.
It's Jason X. Because technically it takes place after Freddy vs. Jason. It has to. So it's X.
It's 10. But anyway, we can leave it there. Any questions or comments, you can email us at entnowpod@gmail.com. If you're watching this on YouTube, give us a thumbs up. If you're listening on your favorite podcatcher, make sure you leave us a 5-star review. You can tell Ian how wrong he is about everything. Hey,
or you can actually listen to her fucking music and realize how fucking bland it is.
Whatever. Well, that's all we got, man. Until next time.
Talk to y'all later.
Peace.
Play my role, let me tell you about it. This shit right here, man, I'm about it. Only real niggas reside around me. Yo, old lady, drop a guard around me. Dip like I know you can, bitch. Show me the ropes like we in the ring. Got you some GoPros, you wanna hang. Shoulder to shoulder, them niggas basic. You know I won't lie. You know that I ain't for that fuck shit. You niggas alright, but I'm way better and she love it. Know that y'all sick as fuck. Here go this tissue, bro. We taking the dub. Hoping you get you some. This hit like a pick me up. She taking my drugs. Know they see the sign. That's some dollar signs. Know they sick as fuck. Know they sick as fuck. Tell him get well soon. Tell him get well soon. Know you sick as fuck. Get well soon.
Oh shit, watch out, you the god Billy. Oh shit, right now and I'm smiling in your face, bitch. With a gold smile, you should probably make placement to your eye. Niggas sick as fuck, standing with niggas who down for that party, who down for some bitches who showing their bodies. Swear to God, nigga, this Molly got me up and rolling. These bodies of water, bring that shit in bottles. We mosh at the party, that